Good evening, I am Sean, the Daily Satanist. In this video I am going to further develop on the ancient demon language. By the way, it does have a name, Fòdil. I'm also going to correct some wrong assumptions I made on my first blog post on this subject. First, a brief explanation of what is Fòdil, the ancient demon language. I've been working with demon Beelzebub, Lord of demonic knowledge and wisdom, for the past few months in order to better understand how demonic society works. Beelzebub explained to me that eons ago, the planes of existence were extremely close together, so much that spiritual beings such as gods and demons would exist in several planes at the same time. This means they had both the spiritual, ethereal, and physical form to worry about simultaneously at all times. During this period, the telepathic communication they've been commonly using up until that moment had become harder and harder to use. Physical constraints became more and more apparent as the planes kept converging. Beelzebub explained that they created Fòdil as a way to more easily communicate using physics-based transmission of data and information instead of astral means of communication. Now, this is where the first wrong assumption I made will be corrected. In my original blog post concerning the ancient demon language, I said this physics-based communication was vocal and sound-based, which implies demons gained physical bodies with mouths and some kind of vocal cords and lived in atmospheric worlds. The issue with this is that Beelzebub confirmed there weren't even planets at the time, and that in fact their physical manifestations remained extremely abstract with very limited sensory ability. However, they were able to emit some kind of wave. Maybe they were radio waves, maybe some kind of radiation or controlled pulses, electromagnetic fields, I don't know. And they were able to feel and recognize precise patterns on waves emitted by other beings trying to communicate. So, in order to standardize communication during this troublesome period, they created Fòdil. What's happening here is that either Beelzebub has sort of translated these waves into sound for me, or I am unconsciously interpreting the information Beelzebub has given me as sound. I haven't been able to get an answer on this, which is very troublesome as this impacts the legitimacy of Fòdil. If Beelzebub is the one giving an official demon wave to human sounds equivalent of Fòdil, it means we have in our hands something that objectively resembles Fòdil as closely as possible, just in another form. However, if I'm the one subconsciously interpreting these waves as vocal patterns, it means this version of Fòdil is very subjective to me and might not sound the same to other people if Beelzebub were to bestow this information upon someone else. When it comes to the supposed script this language has, I do have confirmation, however, that this is a graphical interpretation of the waves themselves. However, it is not clear, again, if it's Beelzebub doing the interpretation or if it's my internal understanding of those waves as graphical units of writing. So sadly, this leaves us with a lot of my original post being lots of wrong assumptions, and I guess it is due to me being overly excited about this. I still think Fòdil might be an extremely important breakthrough in the way we as spiritual Satanists carry our rituals and communicate with our demons. Maybe we're the ones to revive this dead language. So let's go into some of the other assumptions I made. First of all, this whole paragraph, except for the end, is pretty much assumption, and I'd rather we disregard it until I get confirmation of any of that. Then comes a brief list of some other assumptions that I absolutely need to clarify. Demon did, I guess, talk, just not with vocal communication, and certainly did not write, as they didn't even have a medium to write on, nor appendages, I think. Demons did keep an archive of sorts, which supports the right theory. However, I have no idea how they pulled this off. Beelzebub has equated it with literature for humans, so I guess we'll stick with the idea that demons have some kind of literature going on. Everything about the plane seems on point and correct. I stated that created languages predate natural ones, but actually there's nothing there to tell me that Fòdil is the first language ever. Okay, Now, let's actually talk about this mysterious language. Let's review our basic syntax, grammar, phonetics, all that. So, the basic syntax is subject, object, verb. However, Beelzebub has also stated that while this is the norm, syntax could be flexible to accommodate for more complex sentences. There are no tenses, as the time of the action is detailed in the sentence itself or has to be guessed through context. Phonetics are fairly straightforward. The consonants are common, as you can see in this table. By the way, the th sound is more of a soft th than a the. The r sound is not a r, but rather a soft r like in Spanish or Japanese even. Vowels are basic, similar to those in Spanish, so a, e, I, o, u. However, there are long counterparts which seem to have a dip in the middle, so double A would be a, double E would be e, and so forth. It seems like almost all the time the last syllable of a word is stressed, so it's pronounced Fòdil and not Fòdil. The difference is small, but it is there, I guess. Okay, so up until now, all of this information is in the original post, so let's get to what's new. Vocabulary is strange. When I asked for some basic vocabulary to be able to form sentences and give out some examples to the world, well, let's say that one was basic to demons and spiritual beings at the time, is not exactly what we humans would consider simple. Tal doval fas, which literally means he is live. However, it actually translates to he appreciates being alive, or he likes living. This is the example sentence Beelzebub used. He's still giving more vocabulary than I'm adding to the English to Fòdil dictionary I'm working on, and up until now it's been very hard to actually make sentences since the vocabulary is mostly abstract concepts rather than the things you see in everyday life. Other than that, I've also found out that specific sonorities or phonetics are exclusively reserved to something called Zaldil, or power words. These are words that often carry a certain spiritual weight to them, putting them apart from all the, so to speak, common conversational language. It is my belief that these Zaldil, or power words, are going to be pivot points in this language's use as a ritual tool for us practitioners. Some of these words include Zeril, meaning mystic, divine, or spiritual; Telaas, meaning hidden or sacred, to be safeguarded, quite literally occult; Ta, meaning knowledge. Not sure if the notion of wisdom is included though. Interestingly enough, the words for soul, like Val and love, or Te, are not power words and do not seem to have any sacred connotation in Fòdil. My guess is that the soul was something taken for granted, as we're talking about beings that are primordially spiritual, ergo souls. And I guess love is to them just another emotion, and there is nothing inherently sacred about love compared to other emotions. I have some other pronouns and words that I could share, but I'd rather hold them off until I have sufficient vocabulary and understanding of this language in order to properly teach you without needing to correct myself back and forth all the time. I hope you're finding this as interesting as I do. Do subscribe if you want to follow my progress on uncovering and understanding Fòdil. Thank you for watching.